Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, July 15th. Hope you guys are starting off the day well. Halfway through the week. But we do got a few economic data to go over today. We'll start off with the Empire State Index. This is the index that gathers information on data from New York on the manufacturing sector. So in June, we saw a contraction of zero point 0.2, and in July, it jumped all the way up to 17.2. So it's rebounded quite nicely in July, which is good news for manufacturing. Industrial production, as you can see, also jumped up. We went from 1.4% in May. Forecast for June is calling for 4.1% and exceeded that to 5.4%. So decent numbers right there. Then we got capacity utilization for the month of June. We had a 65.1% back in May. June was supposed to increase to 67.7 according to the forecast, and then that also exceeded at 68.6. So overall, much better news today compared to the previous reports. So we're seeing some improvements. We all like improvements and like to see that keep rising. Later today, we'll get the Fed Beige Book. This would be kind of like a microeconomic view of the different regions around the U.S. What each region is, how they're performing and stuff. So we'll get more of a micro view of the U.S. economy with the Fed Beige Book, as each Fed region will go ahead and report their data. And that could be a market mover depending on if there's anything out there that might uh, surprise analysts, but for the most part, they kind of already have that in mind. So let's jump ahead here to the headline news right now. Oops, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be stocks are up. Excuse me. Moderna. That got put up there twice. Yeah, stocks are up this morning on news of Moderna. Moderna released that they had some very positive and robust results on their tests on the uh, vaccination for the COVID. Also out of Oxford, that's being helped with AstraZeneca, also are having some positive results. So that was creating some nice optimism in the markets. Stocks were up much higher. They have kind of subsided a little bit, but they're up much higher. So this morning, we are getting more earnings reports as we just started that this week, and we'll have quite some time of earnings reports being released going through. But they've been put more on the back burner for the most part due to uh, the whole COVID thing, and they are expected not to do so well. President Trump is signing two things here. One was a bipartisan bill that was sent out in regards to sanctions on China on their treatment of the Hong Kong people, and then also a order of removing the preferential treatment that Hong Kong had. So basically, the viewpoint on that was since China's basically taking over Hong Kong was getting preferential treatment, but not, since it's really no with Hong Kong now basically in its, in its authoritarian ways are taking over and basically in control of it. There's You're basically dealing with one country versus two separate entities. So why should we give them preferential treatment? In other words, is the viewpoint behind that. Let's jump ahead, see how this is playing out with the bond market and what mortgage rates are doing. Mortgage rates are only up about 2 basis points so far. They were down much further as the stocks were hotter, and since the stocks cooled off a little bit, they've kind of rose a little bit further. Yesterday, we pulled back quite a bit from where we were earlier in the day. We cooled off. So it did lead to some lenders to price for the worst as we lost quite a bit of ground there. Uh, and then for those lenders that reprice for the worst, we're going to be basically pricing today will be unchanged. For those who did not make any changes in the pricing yesterday, most likely are going to have a little bit worse pricing today. So some lenders reprice and some did not. And again, those who did reprice should most likely have unchanged pricing from what we saw yesterday or close of yesterday. And those who did not reprice most likely will come out with a little worse pricing today. All right. Hopefully that's clear. And treasuries, as you see, treasuries shot up a bit more. They were up even higher. We're getting these kind of like these uncertainty here. So you see the wide wicks on both sides. There's quite a little uncertainty in the yield markets. And but when you're talking about stimulus, every time they talk about stimulus, that's kind of pushing yields down further because the yields don't like any talk of the stimulus. And right now we are seeing just under 0.64 at 0.635 on the chart here. All right, so that's pretty much the wrap. Mortgage rates, for the most part, are remain unchanged from where we left off yesterday. And those who did not price, again, for the worst pricing, after they were much higher, should be a little bit lower, or should be a little bit worse today. If you guys are looking to buy or refinance, I'd love to be able to speak with you guys. These videos I do not represent anyone, any other group's opinions, but my own. But I also work as a loan officer. I can assist you, or at least talk to you a little bit about what we could potentially do to help you, um, and then or at least point you in the right direction. So if you'd like to be able to talk a little bit about your purchase transaction or a refinance, I'll leave my information down in the description. You can reach out to me and we can hopefully connect and see what we can do to help you guys out. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye bye.